ball carrier, okay? We talked about this a little bit, timing, okay? You got to be patient. You got to let me get to a point that I can come help you. You leave too early, then I can't make any, I can't come out and help you at all, and you're basically just doing a one-on-one. So you're going to have timing. To do that, sometimes you might have to carry the ball away from me to set yourself up to come towards me. Now, what hand are you? You prefer your left. So if I know that he prefers his left, I think in a two-man game, because you're setting a pick and you put the pressure on the defense, there's no reason to set it for his weakness. I should be working so that he comes off and he can get to his strength. So now he can make a play, because if they double team Bennett, he's got a much better chance of making a play coming to his left hand than he does coming to his right hand. So that's first, timing. You might have to carry the ball away to set that up. North-south, we want to come off this pick going at the cage, obviously. One way to check is, if I'm the pick guy, my butt should be pointing right towards that cage. If my butt's pointing towards the cage and he does his job of brushing shoulders with me so there's no gap, then he's coming off going at the cage, and that's the toughest thing for the defense to handle. So we get north-south by the pick man getting his butt towards the cage. And last thing, brush shoulders. We don't want to leave any gap in between that pick guy and that guy coming off. Now, two-man game is obviously more complicated than that. I think for younger guys, if we can get them to do this stuff, right, the slip becomes easy, all right? You can send a second pick, right? Working on that second pick, I think that becomes a little bit easier. But if we can do that basic pick and roll, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Any questions on the two-man game? I know that was fairly brief. Work on the two-man game with your guys, right? The college coaches are going to expect them to know it. Get them at least working. I think they can start in a skeleton. I think getting just the movement down becomes very good for them, all right? Few things that I like to do on the pick and roll game, right? First time through, we're just going to come and we're going to set a pick, all right? And I'm just going to roll off of it. You come around and score. Next time, I'm going to come and set that pick. You're going to hit me as I roll, okay? Good. You're going to hit me as I roll. Next time, all right, come and set that pick. You come off and there's nothing, okay? So I might come back around the cage or wherever I need to go to come and set that second pick and get him in a spot where he can go again. So double pick, all right? And then last, right, then you can start working on, I'm coming here and I'm just going to slip this thing as he goes so I'm never setting my feet. So those are a few different things. We do a lot of it skeleton, just getting used to that movement. I think it puts a lot of pressure on the defense and makes it tough for them. Okay, a little unsettled. Now, I think unsettled is really basic, really basic. So Bennett, come on up to behind the cage with me. You're just going to be behind the cage. You'll be behind the cage right there. You're my ex player. Now, unsettled, okay? As a tackman, all right? We talked about working in closer spaces. This has got to be our bread and butter. If you can't play unsettled as an attackman, find another position, all right? Unsettled, okay? We want to make it as simple as possible. We want to find the 2-on-1. If there isn't a 2-on-1 around you, move that ball, okay? Now, how do we find the 2-on-1? I think it's pretty simple, all right? I think it's pretty simple. We're going to start out wide. So it's much easier, all right, like an outfielder in baseball. It's so much harder to backpedal and catch a ball than it is to catch one coming into it. Same thing with lacrosse guys. We start out wide and we work our way in. All right? Now, unsettled starts with our stick work. All right? This is why we got to have good stick work as a tackman. I think everyone's feet should be in a line towards the cage. They should all be threats. So we start out wide. As that ball moves, then I'm just going to step in like this. If my hands are back and my feet are in a line towards the cage, the defense has to respect you. All right? If they don't respect you, then we're all shooters. So we start out wide, feet are always in a line towards the cage, and we just continue to step in until someone plays us. Now, what I see too many guys doing at the younger ages is they wait till they're getting checked. And the goal here is, if we have an unsettled situation, anytime we have a man up, all right, we're coming down on a 4-on-3, 5-on-4, we got a man up opportunity, we shouldn't be getting checked. Whatever you got to do so that you're not getting checked, and as long as your stick's in a throwing position, you see the check coming and you just move it before that. So we're starting wide, we catch it feet in a line, catching it back, holding our stick in a throwing position, and we step in until we're about to be checked and we move the ball. Now, I think one of the toughest looks, but it's the most intuitive look in my opinion, all right? If I am, let's say the goal is Let's say the goal's that way. You're now the wing attackman, all right? I'm the guy at X. If I drive, you pass the ball to me. You're playing that wing. If I drive in this direction, okay, we can obviously only look where we're looking, okay? We can only see where we're looking. So if I'm driving this way and I'm looking this way, this is what I see. Now, anytime there's an unsettled, if there is no guy in front of me that's open, all right, if guys are wondering where to pass, check their inside shoulder. Whichever shoulder's closer to the cage, check that inside shoulder. I guarantee if no one's open in front of you, if you look over the inside shoulder, the guy is going to be open. So we drive in one direction, we see what we have to see. If nothing's coming and pressure's coming, we're checking there and we're ready to pass that ball over the inside shoulder. Same for Bennett. If he's driving up, all right, if Bennett's driving up and no one's open in front of him, where are you looking, Bennett? Right here for that guy who's coming. This is the guy that's going to be open. The defense tends to shift in the direction you're looking, so make sure you're always checking that inside shoulder. And the last thing, all right, I know this is simple, but last thing. This center line, I know that Coach Hogan calls it the Rido line, all right? If there was a line drawn from the end line through the center of this cage, back through that other cage, the more that we drag a defense on one side of this line and throw it on the other side of that line, the tougher it's going to be. The reason is the defense, all right, especially when they're man down, they're always going to have more guys on this side of the line, the ball side of the line, than they are on the back side of the line. So if we're coming down in a 3v2, all right, Bennett, you're on this wing. I'm coming down, all right? I'm coming down on the 3v2, okay? All I have to read as an offensive player is, are there more guys on this side of the line or more guys on that side of the line? Wherever there are fewer guys, that's the way I'm passing it, all right? If there are more guys on Bennett's side, then I'm just hitting the guy on that side, and that will force the defense to begin rotating, and it will create offense for us. So I think that's pretty simple, but I think unsettled is just about getting organized and having a good stick, and I think we got a chance to be pretty effective.